Okay, so I'm CammyG, and I'm going to be doing a perk video for the Hemlock. I realise this is one of the guns that I have fully perked out, that I haven't done a video on it yet, so I figured I might as well. So the perks I've got, as you can see, is element is energy. That's just because I use it as like a roaming weapon, so I can use it against any type. I have gone for reload speed here because the options are reload speed, durability, mag size, or weapon stability. The choice here is up to you. You could either go for reload speed or mag size. The reload time is quite short anyway, so you know, mag size is definitely a viable option. The reload speed is just personal preference for me, really. And then the other two, you'll see that we've gone for 1 crit rating and then 2 crit damages on the outsides here. Now, the weapon does snare enemies, but as you can see, there's no damage to snared enemies perk option, which would have been a pretty decent perk option because it adds like 45% damage, which is pretty crazy. But since that's no option, for the bottom here you can see we've got like your damage perks. There's also a damage to missed monsters and bosses perks, but that just really limits, you know, what enemies we can use this against. So, you know, crit damage is best here, and then crit damage at the top because, you know, you've got fire rate or reload speed as well as just damage, and we've already got a reload speed. Fire rate's already 9.9, that's way fast enough, so there's no need for that. And if you didn't know already, a crit build is just objectively better than a damage build, which means going for damage with headshot damage is just weaker than crit rating with crit damage. And that's just a fact at this point. Like, at lower levels you don't notice it as much because when you go for like damage and headshot damage, you can sometimes one-shot the smaller enemies, like two-shot the bigger enemies. But when you get into high twine, it's taking like, whoa, I don't know, 3 shots for a normal enemy, 7 shots for a husky husk, whereas if you go for a crit you can get like 2 on a normal and like 4 or 5 on the big boys. So yeah, you can definitely notice the difference. So, you know, full on go for a crit build on this. And whatever element you want, like I said, I just did energy because this is going to be my roaming weapon. The weapons that I use in missions close range are Silent Spectre for nature, Typewriter for fire, and then Bobcat for water. I definitely recommend that you go for, you know, 3 different elements of each like type, you know, like a SMG, a rifle, and so on, if you can. Obviously it takes a lot of reperk, perk up, all that sort of stuff, so you might need to do a few war games or endurances, something like that, or just grind the missions that give it. But yeah, I hope you found it useful and did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.